Ina Garten inspired peach cake, but easier.
Welcome to Two Sisters Tips. I rarely cook desserts, and when I do cook them, they have to be easy. Ina Garten has a recipe for a fresh peach cake, and I like the idea of it, but not all the work. So I have a cake mix. I'm going to use a cake mix, and I'm going to take some of her ideas from that recipe and adapt it to make it a little bit simpler and easier for me to execute. So I started with a cake mix. She doesn't use a cake mix. She does use sour cream, however, and I really like the idea of sour cream. So I am going to put in half a cup of sour cream. So that means I need to adjust the ingredients that were on the cake mix box. So what do you do in these days if you're not quite sure how to do that? You ask ChatGPT. I gave ChatGPT the ingredients on the cake mix box and asked how I should adapt it. So ChatGPT suggested that I keep the same amount of oil, 1/3 of a cup, the same amount of eggs, 3 eggs, and instead of adding a cup of water, I've added half a cup of sour cream at room temperature. And ChatGPT told me if I really want a bakery taste, I could add milk instead of water. So I'm adding half a cup of milk, and it added a teaspoon of vanilla. So I'm just going to mix this together right now with my hand mixer for about 2 minutes, and then we'll take the next steps. Into a pan. I used a yellow boxed cake mix for this. Okay, I think that's about half of the mix. And I'm going to layer some peaches on this half. So then there is a cinnamon sugar mixture that gets sprinkled on. Okay, now I'm going to put the rest of the cake mix on the top. I think that's good enough. And another layer of peaches. A cobbler feel almost. Okay, some more of this cinnamon sugar mixture. And now some chopped pecans. I'm going to follow the baking directions on the cake mix box. So let's see how it goes.
This was one of the best cakes I've ever eaten. Thank you for watching.